always start with a negative and then you can always work on to a positive. I think I've usual thing. Can you see the video of? Oh, look at that. 1 second. Get some tissue and clean that camera. I don't know if we'll get anybody in. I was going to be here half an hour ago, but things are busy, you know. Always something going on, isn't there, really? Turn the camera back on. There we go. That's it. Hopefully it'll share it out to a few people. If you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching. I think that's my kitchen lights, isn't it, really? So we're on the iPhone today. Hopefully it's working. I think you get less people in on all messages. That's it. We haven't got anybody in yet. Probably going to be a waste of time, this one. We'll see anyway. We're only here for the comments, live at lunchtime. Quick cup of tea. I'm only going to be on about 20 minutes, I think, and then I'm going to go to work because that's what I do. Just back from Spain, so I'm slightly different colour than what I was. I've got a few good things coming up. I've got on Friday. I upload every Friday. I did try and upload once every, twice a week. But if you do that, you need a lot of content to put 2 videos on, or you end up walking somewhere and then walking back. It just seems a bit of a waste of time. So I've cut it down to once a week, and then I'll do these pop-up lives and add little bits on there, a bit of information videos and that about the channel. But anyway, we've got 3 videos planned now. There's one going up on Friday, which is a boat trip. Shut this window because the wind's blowing in. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh dear, hello one person, how are you? It's just me and you. You can have all the attention in the world. Never seem to be able to get this set right. Light's a bit weird as well because we're in the kitchen, so it's got spotlights in the roof. And obviously it gives me a suntan. Hello, 5 people, amazing. All these people, welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. So be nice to each other if you want. So anyway, I was going on. I've got 3. One of them, I've just come back from Spain. I've been up at a place called Benissa, which is Mike Halesmith. How you doing? Nice to see you. What are you up to, mate? Just doing a quick live stream before I go to work. Miglena Larazova. That's a good one. What's up to you too? Your head's so shiny. Well, I can't argue with you, really. Steve B, cracking, how are you? Yeah, I just do these random live streams. I just pop them up every now and again. 20 people in at the minute. I'd imagine that'll soon drop off though. We haven't had a response like that for a while. For a while, YouTube, if you went live in the vertical mode, used to keep sharing you out. Have you heard about Jota in the... I have, yeah, I don't really follow football, but I've just seen it on the thing. Paul had only a young guy, really talented as well. I don't really know a lot about football, but as a father of children older than that, it's awful, absolutely awful. Do I like fishing? I used to when I was younger. I used to really enjoy it. EIR, good afternoon to you anyway. Molly Q, how you doing? I used to love getting sat next to it. It was more pond fishing than river. So I used to get sat next to a pond and just sit there and relax. It was lovely. It is a shame about that footballer, though. It's a shame when anybody goes, isn't it, really? Especially when they're in there. What do I do for work? Drive a cab for a living. I've done for 33 years. So I sort of do the afternoon shift. I've got planned to come on here about half an hour ago, but I've got elderly parents, and one of them was my mother was having trouble with a club card, whatever, on Morrison's. What's my hobby? YouTube videos. Used to be drinking heavily, and I've stopped. Molecule, pack it in, thank you. Bro, can you ban me from stream? No, not really. I like people. I like to talk to people as well. I sound like I'm from the Bristol area. Now, no, it's a cross between Yorkshire and Lincolnshire, to be honest. My parents are both Broad Yorkshire, and I'm I was born in Lincolnshire, but brought up in a house full of Yorkshire people. I actually live in a place called Gainsborough in Lincolnshire, which is on the Nottinghamshire Lincolnshire border, literally on the Nottinghamshire Lincolnshire border. If you go across the Trent Bridge, it takes you straight into Nottinghamshire. Lucy Bell, okay, well, fine. Why do you want to get banned from places? Is it because you're a bit of a troll account? I've been on YouTube quite a while, so I've heard most things. Yeah, well, yeah, just north of the Midlands, aren't we? Really? I mean, I'm smack bang in the middle of Lincoln and Scunthorpe. It's 17 miles. Scunthorpe that way, Lincoln that way. So I'm smack bang in the middle of those two. So that'll give you an idea where I am. I've lived here for, well, I've been in the area all my life. I'm pretty well travelled. I used to work away and stuff like that. So I've been around quite a lot of places. Worked in Scotland and in, well, just all over the place. Mainly north of here rather than south. I've never done a lot of work around London, not when I was contracted. But when I got, I started cab driving, I had a contract for a company and everything went south with them. They were Jokes and Novelties company, so I've been to the Big Brother house a couple of times when it was still current, really. I don't know if you remember the one where they were wearing a lot of fancy dress equipment. I dropped that off. It was before Channel 4 dropped it, because it went on to Channel 5 then, didn't it? But I used to like that when it first started. But then it got to be a load of wannabes just popping in there just to try and to get a career out of it. What made me stop drinking? I went for my taxi medical, found out I got massively high blood pressure. So they give me some medication. And the first thing I read on the medication, I've actually got it here because I leave it here so I don't forget to take it. And somewhere about the first thing you read, it's regulate your alcohol consumption. I can't think where it was. It's pretty prominent somewhere on the box. Whether it was the other ones I had before these. And I thought, well, I'd lost the sort of the capability to regulate it. Really, I'm not going to sit here and preach at people for having a few pints, but I've got a poorly daughter, and I started trying to make myself laugh with that stuff. I got really sort of stuck into it, and so I was getting. What do I do to replace the buzz? I talk to you, Steve. That's the thing. Now that is the thing, isn't it? I don't do drugs. I suppose back in the day we used to go to Amsterdam and enjoy a little bit of the green stuff, but now that was the thing. That's the first thing I said to my wife. She said, "How do you get off your head now then?" She said, "Well, I don't really think you're supposed to. I'm not really sure what you do, but I do enjoy vape. That's about the only thing I've got. So technically I don't drink and I don't smoke, so I'm one of the people you don't want to get sat next to on a bus." I've just been looking watching on TikTok, one of the people that post on there from Benidorm. We're going to Benidorm again in October, and they're going to stop you vaping outside a bar now. So that'll be my last trip there, and I've just booked a week there. So you've got to stand in the middle of the road for a vape. It's the world's gone balmy. Breathing a bit of fresh air out with some flavouring in it. Mad. But I suppose that's life, isn't it? Whatever you do, they try and ostracise it and then tax it. But are you a drinker then, Steve? Do you enjoy beer? So I've always been a bit of an heavy drinker. I've got a son with severe mental health problems, and he drove me insane for ages. So I used to get it down me then, and it sort of spiralled. And my daughter, she's got stage 4 cancer, and she's only 42. And so off we went on that. Yeah, I got on the specialties and all the strong beers, and it got to be a sort of nightly encounter, and managed to sort of run a business at the side of it all, but it was getting really, really miserable. And anyway, I've got it stopped. Stopped it completely. November 13th, 2024 was my last alcoholic drink. Ah, right, yeah. Yeah, well, I'd be as often as possible boozer. It was. I've just had my first 2 weeks. I've just been in Spain. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm a bit browner than I normally am. Yeah, that's right. That's what I don't miss. So I've just been to Spain, had 2 weeks there, and it's the first holiday I've had as an adult where I've never touched an alcoholic drink the whole time I was there. Never wanted one, never anything. My wife got a bit drunk one night, and you could see how rough she was the next morning. And I thought, you know what? Bonus. So if you're interested in this channel, I'd be more than happy if you'd subscribe to it. Not begging for subscribers, but if you're interested in what I do some walking videos, and that's actually where I get my buzz from now, I suppose. I started walking the other week. Well, not the other week. It was the beginning of June. I walked from Mablethorpe to Skegness, which is about 18 miles up the front, and raised nearly £800 for a cancer charity that helped my daughter out. So that's the longest I've ever walked in my life, and it actually nearly killed me. So when I got to Spain, I've got plans of doing some from the area that I was in. It was a long way, yeah. So I got plans of doing some vlogs there, but we got there, it was like 35, 36 degrees. It was too hot to breathe in some days. So I didn't get a lot of walking about done there. I think really if you're going to go places like that, you need to be in the winter if you're going to start doing vlogs, really. But I did a couple of lives. So if you look back on the channel, there's one from the beach at sunset. I enjoyed doing that. Sat on some rocks. It's absolute bliss, that. And that was more or less it, really. Oh, I went to Benidorm. Went took my granddaughter. My granddaughter's 19. So I took her to Benidorm, and we did a little video there as well, just around where Uncle Ped's is, and round the corner and down past the Neptunes and a bit further on down there. But we were a bit tight for parking, really. I should have gone down on my own and then another go. But the day we went there, I was one street back, obviously, from the front, and it was unbearably hot, and all the bars were empty. Mirelli Jakub, how you doing? Nice to see you. So I started this channel. I've been on YouTube for about 5 years. I did a vape show with my mate Bill for 4 or 5 years, and then the demonetized. I actually got monetized on there. Got over 1,000 subscribers and got monetized on there. Then Google or YouTube decided that vaping weren't their thing, so they switched the monetization off. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I'll come back to that in a minute. So I decided to pack it in with that, really. I felt a bit of a kick in the teeth. So I have another channel called Mick Review Stuff, where I've been reviewing little gadgets and stuff like that. That's gone quite well. And then I decided when I started walking, I've never really been that interested in exercise. So with the thing about YouTube, I bought a camera. I bought an Osmo Pocket 3, 4K, 60 frames per second. And just had a wander, have a wander about with that. It brings up some amazing pictures. I've actually been all over the place. I've done America 6 times. I've been to Greece, but I've only ever been to Greece 3 times. We normally go. I'm not really a Benidorm. It's nice to go for a few days, but I just popped in because my granddaughter being 19, I thought she'd like to have a look round, if you know what I mean. But we were in a place called Benissa, which is about 40 kilometres past there. You get Calpe, Benissa, and Moreira, and Benissa's in the middle of the two, and that's where we were. But we're normally flying to Malaga, so I've done Torremolinos. We used to rent an apartment in Torremolinos in the Carrawether area for quite a few years. A friend of ours owns it. And we used to really enjoy that. But the kids were young, you know what I mean? And the kids were all grown up. Calpe's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. If you have a look on my channel, if you do want to subscribe, so I'm not begging for subscribers, but if you do want to subscribe, if you have a look, we did a boat trip from Altea. So I've uploaded there. And I've uploaded from Benissa, just as you come out of Moreira, literally just through the sign, there's a car park. And I think you're in Benissa then. And I've done a live stream from them rocks just there on that little beach. And then I didn't really get anything done in Calpe, but we went down there, we were on the beach a couple of times, just to the side of that massive rock. It looks like Malaga City is gorgeous, isn't it? I've driven around there by mistake about 3 or 4 times. Come off the wrong thing on the roundabout and ended up going through Malaga City when I've been on. We go to Frigliana. I don't know if you've ever been to Frigliana, Steve. But about 40 kilometres away, up near Nurka. Nurka, same roundabout. Nurka's to the right, Frigliana's to the left, and we've rented villas up in the mountains up there. Well, it's one of the white Andalusian villages. And if you go back to Malaga or you go to Torremolinos, you can get a bus trip up there for the day, and it takes you right into the centre. It's a beautiful place. It's worth a Google if you're interested in it. On my other channel, we actually did a video there one winter. We went in January and it was about 20 degrees, but it's not an amazing video. It's when I sort of first started doing these style of things, and I was using the phone Frigiana. Frigiliana. So if you look on the map and you look at Nerja, spelled Nerja, that's the coastal side, and then Frigliana is the beautiful white Andalusian villages. If you watched, now then, I can't remember the name of the, because you've got, obviously you've got Bargain Loving Brits in the Sun, haven't you, which is more sort of Benidorm area. But there was another one, and I think it was on Channel 4, where it was showing you people that had started businesses abroad, and it's been going on for quite a few years. And there was a lady on there once called Tanya Miller. Now, Tanya Miller's dad is a antiques bloke from Antiques Roadshow, but I don't know who he is. But anyway, she went and she knocked 2 townhouses together in the middle of Frigliana and turned them into Miller's hotel. I think it's called Miller's. But she sort of featured in the show for quite a few episodes. She's a lovely lady, you know. She's a proper businesswoman. And now she's got jeets out there and all sorts of things. But if you want to go really rural, you can go right through the village, and on the top where it brings you back to actually the village of Torrox, not Torrox Costa. And there's a Hotel Caracoles there. And if you put that in, because Caracoles is snail, isn't it? And the rooms that you can stay in are like little pod things in the garden, like hobbit cottages. It looks fantastic, to be honest. But I ain't actually been in them to have a look, because we normally get these little houses. But have a look there. And say if you're interested in it like that, booking.com. My mate used to have a business there. We first went with Tui many years ago, about 10, 15 years ago. And that was the only time we ever rented with them, because I found a guy called FriglianaRentals.com. He's since closed down because he's retired. And we used to rent villas off him. And it's just remote, but you get up in the morning and it's completely silent. You walk out, there's always a roof over the terrace, a pool at the side of you, and you just sit there watching the world go by. There's mountains all around you. It's a fascinating place. And I've been there. I've also stayed in Torrox Costa. Sadly, the last time I went, I stayed in an apartment and somebody broke into it and stole all my holiday money, because we've always saved up and gone in cash. You know what you do? You've got a pot in your thing, just chuck it in, change it to euros, and the day after. No, not so idyllic. No, they had about 1,400 quid off us, isn't it? So my daughter's got stage 4 cancer, and we took her out there to show her around these places. It was part of a bucket list, and that's what happened while we were there. So somebody sort of turned us over. We had electricals and that all in the thing. They just took the money. So at least we didn't have to go and get a new passport, right? And I got half of it back off the insurance. It's life, isn't it? You've just got to... Since then, I just save up and put it in the bank and spend it off my phone. That's what I did this time. It's just as easy, to be honest. It's just one of them things we've always done, right, since we started. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the ones where we stay in Frigliana, there's a few of them that get the door kicked in the winter and the pinch of telly, you know, that type of thing, and have a rummage round or live in it or whatever. But we went to a I don't know if you've ever been to a place called Finistrat, which is, you've got Benidorm Old Town, and you go further along and there's a place called Finistrat, and we stayed there in an apartment, and it was the first holiday after we'd been broken into, so I put all the money in the bank, went with my card. But what they'd done, all the locks were changed. They were like skeleton keys, and there was a safe fastened into the wardrobe, literally fastened in. You needed a pneumatic drill to get it out, and that also had one of them. Yeah, okay, mate. Nice to see you. We'll catch you another time. I say I can't really stay too long myself. I wanted to be at work about 2, but I've got my mind made up to do a live stream, and I like to keep the channel ticking over by chatting to people. So that's what I maybe mind up to do. So I'm probably only going to stay for about another 5 minutes myself. Anyway, lovely to speak to you. If you ever look around the channel, I'm not begging for subscribers, but if you want to have a look at those videos, it shows you that one of Mariah and that. You might be interested in it. So anybody else? How are we all doing? Nice to be here. 4 people in. I'm a bit worried about a friend of mine, Mr. John Paul Glasgow. He normally pops up to every video I do, and I haven't seen him, so I don't know. He's not a well man, so hopefully he's doing all right. How's everybody else getting on? Anybody going on holiday? Anybody been on holiday? It's coming up to that season now, I suppose, where the kids are going to pack up from school in about 2 weeks. So everybody will be getting ready to fly off to where they're going with the children. I've just been away with my 2 youngest grandkids and my oldest grandchild, and my grandson came out for a few days in the middle of it because he didn't want to miss school. That was an experience. 2 little kids. It's a long time since I've been away with 2 little kids. They're funny, they're lovely, but they're very wearing, aren't they? One of them, she's coming up 2. I wouldn't say terrible 2s because she's not terrible, but she's got her own mind made up what she wants to do, and nobody can get in the way. Pete Tiernan, how are you doing? Peter Tiernan, sorry. Some people don't like to have their name abbreviated, whereas I'm not that keen on. I certainly don't like being called Mike. I always think that's an American teenager's name, Mike or Mikey, isn't it, really? So anybody got a cat? My cat's having it's a bit warm. He's been in the cattery for a couple of weeks, and he's struggling to stay inside at the minute. So he comes in one door and goes back out the other. And has a little bite on the way through, just to see if he can stave away the hunger. One thing I will ask you to do, if you could just hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying what you're seeing. It does help the algorithm to share the channel out for future things. Makes you. It's a very, very difficult thing on starting a channel on YouTube. There's millions and millions of people on there posting billions of hours of content, and you've got to try and shine up somewhere in the middle of all that. So it does help if people actually interact with the stream. I could even put a filter on. Look at that, 10 years off me. 14 people, look at that. Hello everyone, welcome. All right, mate, hope you have a good week and enjoyed your time away with the family. I did, yeah, it's lovely. It was fabulous, to be honest. We had 2 full weeks of it. Missed the plane on the way back. I hadn't told anybody about this. Let me tell you. I had a little share out yesterday, but so I got there, got up to the villa all right. A few days, about 4 or 5 days later, my ex-son-in-law was coming with my grandson and my eldest granddaughter. So I went back down to the airport, picked them up, took them back up to the villa. End of the weekend, my ex-son-in-law wanted to go home with my grandson, so I took him back down to the airport, come back up to the villa. Went to Benidorm twice, popped in for lunch. Well, went in the first time, showed my granddaughter, popped back the second time, had a bit of lunch, went back up to the villa. When it comes to going home, come to the same roundabout, took the wrong turn and didn't realise, went about 30 miles out my way. Then I had to do 30 miles back, because the thing is, in Spain, you've got big mountains in the middle. It's not possible to just get a different road and turn left. The time I got to the airport, we were really tight for time, so I dropped the family off and the grandkids and sent them off on the merry way. I said, right, I'll go and drop the car back, and if there's any chance of getting on when I get back, I'll come with you, and if not, I'll have to get a different flight. So they all got on and I didn't, so I ended up, they flew into East Midlands and I flew into Leeds Bradford. So my daughter come and fetch me from there. It cost me another 240 quid. So such is life. It's a bit of a pain, but there you go. What a nightmare. Yeah, at least you yeah, well, that's right. Because if you can imagine, it cost me I think 230 quid, 275 euros, whatever that comes down to be. And then there'd have been, there was one infant and 1, 2, 4 more. So it cost about 1,500 quid to get us home, I think. If I hadn't got them on, it cost a fortune, and that I would have not done as any good whatsoever. But so I say I got home. It cost me 245 quid, and then I charged my daughter's car. Graham, how you doing? Is Graham spelt correctly? You're just sort of coming in at the end, mate. Ah, right. You booked another flight. Ah, that's a good idea. I said to Matt, if I'd have still been drinking, I met 2 lads from Leeds outside the airport, in the airport, booking a flight because they'd missed theirs. They'd been partying. You could see that. They said, "Oh, we've been up all night." So we said we didn't. We just got here late, that. And I says, "Well, well, we'll see. We'll see. Once I get rattling, I can't stop." And I said to him, if I was still drinking, I said I'd be coming back with you because they were off into Alicante on the beer all day. I said you'd be lucky if you make it back, so you would miss your flight again. He said, to be honest, mate, I ain't booked it yet. But I said to my missus, probably my dear wife, I'll probably, if I can't get home today, I'll go home tomorrow. But I wanted to get back to him, and he said, I wanted to probably get back on the same flight. Yeah, 70 quid. So mine was, I could have flown back at night for about 60, I think, into Leeds. But I got back into Leeds Bradford at 11:30 at night. Oh, I think, no, they flew back at 11:30 at night or 11 at night. So I didn't bother. Yeah, I was just, it was a good price at that. But I ended up paying 275. Well, they didn't have any luggage because that's what they said. Oh, it's 60 quid a piece, but they didn't have any luggage. I've got so if you get 60 quid, it's about 60 quid for your bag, isn't it? So that's 120 quid. So you might as well just get home, won't you? And then I couldn't get home from there. €275, 235 quid. Yeah. Well, I suppose I could have had the other one for free if I'd have turned up on time. I said to my brother, I said, he said, I hope you kicked off. I said, what do you mean? He said, like they do on the telly when they go, oh, no, this is disgusting. Hold the plane up, let me go out and sit on the wing and all this crap. But anyway, I didn't bother. Or I could have gone with Brian there, which were about 9 o'clock at night, but I thought, I really don't fancy it. It was red hot. I didn't fancy sitting in the bloody airport all day. But anyway, such is life. First one I've ever missed in 28 years of flying. So never even looked like missing. When I used to drink, I used to get on the plane, I was drunk. Never missed one. Never got chucked off one, never nothing. So sobered up and did it. Yeah, I've done a 9-hour in an airport before the missing flight. Yeah, right. I've done the one, it's a bit cooler today, Graham, spelled correctly. Bit windy, bit dark. The rent is 22, but to be honest, I haven't been outside yet. I've done I did a 24-hour once, and that was nothing to do with us. It was back in the day where they could get away with delaying every flight and just saying there was a problem. So I did 24 hours at East Midlands, and I've also done 10 hours in Sanford and then flown for 10 hours. Sanford is in near Orlando. We sat there 10 hours. Then we got on the flight, and so it was a 10-hour flight in them days. Got into Manchester Airport to absolute chaos, and they were putting bags through from the flight after us. We were stood there an hour and a half waiting for the luggage. I'd brought 200 too many fags back. I think I got 4. I think I got 600 instead of 4. And I heard this young woman say to her boss, "Shall I start dragging him in now?" And he sort of looked at me and thought, "Nah, we'll end up locking him up because he's going to kick off." And I don't normally kick off, but I say I haven't been asleep for about 23 hours or something like that. No. This was years and years ago. No, I'm not back on the SIGs. No. I've just been looking. I don't know if it's true or not, but Spain's going to ban smoking on terraces from now on, and vaping. I don't know how that's going to work out in Benidorm because, to be honest, that's the big attraction to the place. You can sit outside and have a smoke. You can't smoke inside, obviously, but you can just sit outside and have a smoke or a vape. I think that'll be detrimental to their business, to be honest. But the mayor of Benidorm is not like they used to. You don't see as many smoking as you used to. A lot of Brits, but I was talking to my granddaughter. She's 19, and she said I was on about vaping. She said her age group now think it's crap. They've all started smoking again. So that's that's I imagine that might happen. To be honest, if you villainise something enough, the young ones will still try it, but the older ones will think, I'm not doing that. It's not cool anymore. And then they'll go back to the thing you've been trying to get them off for the last 40 years. You only smoke on holiday? Do you really? I must admit, I'll fire one up when I'm in Benidorm. But I've got down to like 12 fags a year, so I don't think I'm too bad. Would you really? No, I quite enjoy vaping. I've been doing it for quite a few years. 15% of the UK population still smokes. Yeah. Well, we were there last week in a place called the Bulldog, having a meal. I thought we was going to have a quick meal, but we waited about an hour and a half for the food to come. So that sort of put a kibosh on it, really, because it's a weird place, Benidorm. You can go and park for 2 hours and you can get a parking space, but the reason being is you can only stay for 2 hours and then you can't extend it. So we only sort of got a meal and then went back to the bloody villa. Had a quick ride round past Peds and past the Sol Pelicanos and away there. But there was some young lads there, and they sort of all sat down, and they're all about 18, 19, and the first thing they did was like a stinky fag up. And, so, I mean, I don't know, they're still smoking. So it's much cheaper, €5 a pack, yeah. I can't remember how much mine were, because at the time I was drinking, I'm probably not buying it this time because I don't drink anymore, but 18 quid for a packet of fags, Christ. Bloody hell. I know last fags I picked up was for one of my regular customers who rang me up. He said, he doesn't smoke cigarettes, but he wanted some Lambert and Desperates to put in a joint. He says, bring us a pack down with. He says, yeah, and they were like nearly 15 quid. And I'm like, wow. I think they were about 7 or 8 when I stopped in 2016. And I used to go abroad a lot, so I'd bring, at the time we were still in Europe, so I'd bring 1,000 back each time. So it was very, very rare that I ever bought any in this country anyway. So 20 quid for a packet of cigarettes, you couldn't really afford it, could you? I'm quite happy with the vapes. I enjoy the vapes, I'll be honest. I'm not thinking of going back to smoking full time. You'd end up spending half your life outside anyway, wouldn't you? Yeah, I used to smoke Marlboro Lights, about 30 a day. And then changed it to Marlboro Gold or whatever they are. Now when you pick a cigarette packet, it was like an horror story. Yeah, I think I'm probably, well, apart from buying shiny things, I've just bought a Delro off Mr. Inchliff. No, I hadn't bought a Delro, I bought a Danny Mini. And, I've accumulated that much stuff from reviewing and stuff like that. I'm still mixing concentrates that I got 4 years ago. So, yeah, that's it. Well, America don't want you to stop, do they? Because of the MSA, the Master Settlement Agreement. They want you to stop vaping because they don't make any money out of it, but they desperately don't want you to stop smoking because over there insurance pays for it, doesn't it? I'm either or really. I've got to sort of 58 years old if I started smoking again and died of it in 10 years' time. I'm nearly 70, so what's the way it is, isn't it? Yeah, I've got quite a few, to be honest, what I've picked up. I've just been buying some off Scott, because that guy that had cancer, that he did a sort of GoFundMe for, he took all his concentrates. Sadly, the bloke's died now. But he took all his concentrates, bought them off him in one thing, and then sort of sold them off and sent the money to his widow. So I had one lot, then I've just got a load of tobaccos. I don't vape tobaccos a lot, but my thinking is if it all gets a bit expensive and you can't get this stuff, then at least I've got something. So, but I went out yesterday and I got halfway up a field about a mile away from my house, and I thought I'll have a little toot, and I'd left it at home. So 5 hours, never had one. Yeah, that Liverpool football. I don't really follow football, but he's only a young guy, isn't he? Had a car crash. What sort of car crash was it? Super car crash, or is it just one of them unlucky things, or was he doing some racing, or 28 bloody hell? Oh wow! Did he have a crash, or did it just burst into flames anyway? Because the Gallardos back in the day were a bit like that. Oh wow, that's a shame, isn't it? It's one of them things where you think, well, if he weren't that good at football, he wouldn't have had that amount of money, and he, you know what I mean? He wouldn't have had one of them. Something about he overtook and crashed. Oh bloody hell! Sad times. Sad times, isn't it? I watched Matt Armstrong and he got that Mansouri Rolls Royce that belonged to Mark, is it Rashford? And that was well bent up, wasn't it? That was an old lady that T-boned him coming up to a roundabout. Not laughing about the guy that's died, but I don't know, sometimes. They look really fast, don't they, them Lamborghinis? I don't think I'd even fit in one, thankfully. Yeah. Yeah, it was good that, yeah. Yeah, I like watching him. He's just bought a Mercedes now. If you watch his Mark II channel, he's got a Mercedes, which is hybrid V12 or something. He did, yeah. Yeah, he did. Then took it to Mansouri, didn't he? Mansouri stole the wheels off it and put his own on. It's just goes to show you, though, these trimming companies, most of it's stuck on, isn't it? I watched a thing about it before Rashford bought it, and there was a guy doing a thing about it before he actually picked it up. And he said the only thing about it was they've done the dashboard bright blue, and as soon as the sun hit it, you couldn't see through the front window. So they hadn't really thought about that, had they? But anybody can stick bits on them, can't they? But I was watching. I look at a lot of this stuff about Range Rovers, and a lot of people say they're rubbish, they're unreliable. Other people don't have any trouble with them. Some people know how to fix them and have them for donkey's years. And I always fancied an overfinch because they're all trimmed up. And what they were saying was, if you second hand, it makes them depreciate. The values depreciate because people class them as messed about with. Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah. They have released a software update, haven't they? Yeah, yeah, that's right. They released a software update because people were just going up and zapping them and getting them. But the other way of doing it is what they call the Hanoi burglary, isn't it? Where they break into your house, pinch your keys. And the type of people that stealing £100,000 Range Rovers wouldn't take no for an answer if they got in your house and couldn't find the keys. I'm sure they'd be coming upstairs to find them. You could soon end up. I don't know if it's worth it. I think nowadays, if you've got a lot of money, you're better off riding around in a mini metro and not getting beat up. Anky Panky said, "Hi, where are you, Steve? Are you approaching Graham's?" Graham spelled incorrectly. He's got a visitor for a couple of days, has he? Sat in Liverpool with G. Are you in Cooper's Townhouse? Did you take the handcuffs and all the weird stuff that you said you were going to do last night? Yeah, Graham spelled incorrectly. Can't believe it. Anyway, it's 2:36. I was going to work at 2 o'clock, so I really got to nip off. I just wanted to keep something going on this channel because they go stagnant real quick. Oh, nice. That's a really nice tour, then, isn't it? Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah. You need bloody close protection officers if you've got out worth. I mean, they're around here. They're stealing. Oh, I can't remember Volkswagen, VW Terrans and stuff like that. Which I don't know what the value on them are. but they're breaking into people's houses, pinching the keys and clearing off with them. So you don't have to have too much money for him to want to come in. I think if you've got serious amounts of money, they don't bother coming in because they know you ain't got any money. It's all in the bank. And that the security would be pretty iffy. But I mean, what he got broken into, didn't he? Yanimais. They actually broke into his house and beat him up because he'd got a really expensive watch they were after. But thankfully it was somewhere else. But they got 10 grand out of the safe. And then they were coming back for another look. And he sold the house and moved into a flat. So, yeah. The more money you have, the more likely you are to get caught because of the money behind it. Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, I suppose so. Right, got to go. Lovely to speak to you all. Anyway, I've enjoyed doing this, to be honest. I do like to keep things going up on this channel. I think we're up to 309 subs now. But I was up to 311 and 2's left. But I think some people watch the shorts and then think, oh, that doesn't look a bad channel. And then when they get to the nitty gritty, some old bald bloke with a shiny head wandering about, then they think it's not quite as interesting as I thought. So I've got a couple of good videos. I've got that boat trip from Calpe or from Altea coming up on Friday. And then I've got a couple of walking videos already done. I did them yesterday. I walked 8 miles yesterday. And by the time I got home, I had to sit here for an hour and a half because I couldn't get my feet to work. Catch you all soon. If you've watched it on the replay, thanks a lot. If you got to this point, thanks ever so much. You do deserve to subscribe if you've got to this and watch it on the replay. Catch you soon. Bye-bye.